Since I'm planning my stuff for the week I'm getting back, I thought I would give you like a little preview of how I plan. So I've already planned the stuff on my like paper planner, just kind of like my ideas, and now I'm putting the slides together. So I'm starting a new month, so I have a table of contents in Google Slides with the links to each week, and then the slides for the homework as well. So each link will go to that week. So this is week 1. If I need to go back, I've hyperlinked this little house to go back to the table of contents. So go back here once I press present. So this is the homework for the week. It's our first week back after winter break, so I'm just going to keep it simple. It's just reading. So go get a new book and read, read, read. You have 2 weeks to finish your book. Some of my kids read more than one book in 2 weeks. Some of them take the whole 2 weeks, depending on um, basically like how much time they need. We're doing some fundraising, so I put important announcements there. My students write down their entire homework for the week on Monday. So I display it on Monday. I also put it on the whiteboard. If a kid's absent on Monday, then they can look at the whiteboard and it's there for the entire week. Now, I got these slides off Slidemania. So if you go to Slidemania, they have these templates, and I just changed the headings here. So I put little icons here of what they need for the day, any announcements I want them to have, and then our objectives. And then now I have the date here. And again, it's hyperlinked back to the table of contents because I can go back. So, okay, so on Monday, I am going to have my students write down their homework for the week. So they need their agendas out. And I normally tell them that at the door. So this is the first thing they see on Monday. So they know they just need to write down their homework. We've been doing that all year long. Once they're done writing down their homework, then I'll move on to the slide. And I'm going to have them update their digital portfolio. So they're going to need their computers. So I'm going to click right here where it says keep. I already have all the icons saved in my Google Keep, so that I just have to click here and then press add to slide. That way I don't have to look for icons every time. I can just use the ones I have saved in my Google Keep. So that makes it easier when I'm planning this. And I just kind of shrink them. So they're going to need their computer. And let me see what else. We're also going to take some notes. I don't want to do, actually, we're not taking notes. We're just watching a video and then playing the game. So all I need is their computer on Monday. I anticipate a lot of kids being absent on Monday, so I don't want to do too much so that kids miss too much information. So that's that. They're gonna need their computer, a couple of announcements. Pick up your new book from the school library or the public library. Right, so I'm going to make that a little bigger just so it looks nice in the projector. And yes, I always spend a bunch of time like choosing fonts and stuff. I'm not going to do that right now. I usually go with something like this, but that's that. All right, and our objective is going to be to, again, because I anticipate kids being absent, this is a good time for my kids to use the time to update their digital portfolio. So we will update our digital portfolios with our reading data and books. So I'm basically going to have them go through all the books they've read so far and add them like almost like a digital bookshelf. So we will update our digital portfolios with our reading data and a digital bookshelf. Okay. And then we're going to briefly view a video on BrainPop about point of view. This is a video I can have them watch twice, so it's okay if some kids were absent because I'm going to play it again. So I'm going to put, we will understand the difference between various points of view. Okay, so I'm going to have that. I could get more specific and say we're going to play a game and all this stuff, but I really don't know how long this is going to take altogether. So if I have time for the game, I'll play it. If not, then I'll just save it for a different day, probably the next day. So I'm going to change the font because I love doing that. Yeah, that's good. And so that will be our slide for tomorrow. So it's very easy. I'll kind of guide them through the drip portfolios, walk around and help them with that. So that is on Monday. And now we're going to move on to Tuesday. We have these notes here that we did over the break, before the break, but I'm going to move them down because I want them to review them. So on Tuesday, I have, now I anticipate that a lot of the kids are going to be back by Tuesday, I hope. So we're actually going to take notes again. So I'm going to use basically the same objective here. So I'm just going to copy it and then paste it here. We will review the differences between various points of view. We will take notes on point of view. And I'm going to do like a station rotation thing this day. It's also a minimum day, so it should go by pretty fast. So what they will need a composition book and a pencil. So again, I have my icons here on my Google Keep. So I have them kind of paired here because I often have my students use these two items together. So I'm going to add a slide and just maybe shrink it. I don't like the light on this, so I typically just do this. I go to the shape and then this, and then I double click and just shrink it to erase the white. I should probably download a different composition book that doesn't have that, so it doesn't bother me each time, but I don't mind doing this. Okay, so now I have my composition book, and they're going to need a pencil. Let me see. They might need highlighters, might not. I'm going to go with no highlighters for now. So they will need these two, and they will also need a computer and headphones for the station. So I'm going to add these. So there's actually a lot of materials this day. So I'm going to, again, write this down. So they're going to have a lot of things to take out this day. Normally we don't have as many materials, but because we're doing stations, they're going to use all of this on Tuesday. And I really hope there's no kids, too many kids absent on Tuesday. All right, and then announcement, just don't forget to read your phone. Read your book. And then I remind them about things that are important, like when their AR quiz is due. So I always remind them, like, don't forget, you only have 2 weeks. So I just copy paste that there. And just change the color so it's consistent. And there we have it. That's Tuesday. All right, so now I'm planning 2 days out of the week. I'm going to go to Wednesday. Wednesday I have, we're reviewing plots. So I'm going to move these notes down here. Again, these are notes that my kids already have in their composition book, but we're going to review them. So they will obviously need their composition book again and a pencil. So since I already have them over here, I'm just going to copy and paste these. And let's see. And that's all that they're going to need that day, actually. There's no tech this day on their part. So I'm going to copy and paste the same announcement just so that they remember they have to read every day. And on this day, we are reviewing plots. So I have, we will review our notes on plot in order to begin our narrative writing task. And so we're doing that. And then we're going to actually plan our narrative. So we're going to review our narrative writing task, begin planning our narrative. So that's going to be a pretty important day. So hopefully no one's absent. And again, I can always go back and change the font. Normally I just type it in, and I kind of have like a font that I like most of the time. Sometimes I try something different. I always try to make it so that it's something that the kids will be able to read from afar, especially like my kids that can't really see. Sometimes I change the color so it stands out. Okay, so that is Wednesday. We're almost done with the week, guys. And then we'll review the notes. All right, and then we go to Thursday. Thursday, we're reviewing dialogue rules. So now that they have a plan about like what they want their story to be about, then now we'll start looking at dialogue rules before we start writing. So they have a plan, but they have an idea of who their characters are going to be and all that good stuff. I have some slides, some old slides about how to write a plan for narrative, and I'll paste them here. But I just go through the slides and then add the opening slides first, and then I go and add the extra stuff I need. All right, so for dialogue rules, they're definitely going to need their composition book again, and I actually want to do stations that day as well. So I'm going to go with all the materials I use this day for stations. I'm going to copy those, paste them there. Same announcement as the day prior. It's a little too big, so that looks better. And now we're going to review our dialogue rules. So we will review various dialogue rules in preparation for our narrative writing task. Okay. And that's basically all we're doing that day. The whole 45-minute period is going to be on station rotation for narrative dialogue rules. That's it. That's all we're going to do because that takes a long time. So we're going to watch a video. We're going to take some notes, and then I'm going to have them go to different little stations. So I'm going to plan those as well. All right. And then the next one is we actually start writing the exposition. So this is where I kind of need to decide if I want the kids to do it on paper or not do it on paper first. Since I'm going on maternity leave, I'm a little hesitant to have them write it on paper and then type it. So I think I'm just going to have them type it right away, which means that they will need their plan, which they are doing on paper. So their composition book and their pencil possibly. And they'll definitely need their computer because I'm just going to have them start typing it because I don't have time for them to write it on paper first and then type it. Normally I do it that way, but I'm gonna be out soon, guys, and we don't have time for that. They take too long. So on Friday, hopefully we can start writing. We will write the exposition for our narrative writing test. What's this one? I'm gonna go with 14 or 18. There we go. That looks good to me. All right, and that's ready. And that's the whole week. So now I have the opening slides for the whole week. And I'll normally put if I'm using Brain Pop, then I have to go to a different site to put the videos. So I don't embed them here. And then let's see. I do need the narrative plan here. So resources in it. Here we go. I named it that. I should probably start this. Okay, so this is what I started working on to kind of help me stay organized, especially next year with the baby coming. So what I did, let me see. Of course I didn't start. There you go. All right. So I basically created a tab by grade level and by unit so that I had all my resources in one place. So I have narrative resources over here, and I'm going to use the narrative planning slides. That way I don't have to kind of search through my drive for that. So these are slides I probably made 4 or 5 years ago, but they are useful every year. So I use them every year. So this is how I have my students plan their narrative. So this is what we're going to do on that planning day. So all I do is I copy these, 1, 2, 3, and then we go back to my slide, and we're planning our narrative on Wednesday. So that's this day right after we review plot. We're going to start our planning. So I'm just going to paste them here. I do not want to link to that. And so this should probably be smaller. And so I kind of walked them through this all together. I'm not sure why the thing got all crazy. You can tell that was an image, so it's kind of blurry here, but it does the trick. So I should probably make things nicer looking, but the kids kind of work through it. I don't print this. I have them do this on a lined sheet of paper. And so I do model it with them under the document camera because during state testing, they cannot use a graphic organizer. And so I don't want to get them used to having an organizer and not having a way to do it on their own. So I do not print this out for them. So I do not make copies of this. This is just to guide them. And so we go through that together. So we make a character list. We make, and then we have the plot, and then that's it. So that is that. Let's see, what else am I gonna need? So let me just go over it one more time. Okay, all right. I think those are all the slides I'm gonna need for the week. Most of the stuff is just like videos or games or things like that. And a lot of it is just like modeling. So there, I'm done for the first week. And then the second week I already have set up here. So week 2, the homework, I'll write down the homework, and then I have my slides set up already. Then week 3, so all these are just like placeholders, and I fill them out as I go. So I might have to move some of this stuff down if we don't finish this week. So I don't want to like, I have a general idea where I want the unit to go, but I don't plan the opening slides because I always end up having to move something. So I have those there, and that's it. So thanks for planning with me. I hope that helped. Give you an idea of what that looks like. Okay, so let's see how long it took us to plan today. Took us 23 minutes. So that's kind of good. Bye.